Welcome to Real Talk Christian Podcast, where we drink coffee and today chocolate milk, and we have real conversations on faith, culture, and society. This is Mark Hyde
and Chris Fuller.
And on this episode of Real Talk Christian, we're going to be talking with high school and college students, seeing what it's like inside the walls of today's public institutions, and more importantly, what it's like to be a Christian at their schools. Hey, Fuller, you ready?
Let's kick it.
Let's go.
Thank you for joining us at Real Talk Christian, a place where real Christians talk about real issues impacting the community and the world as it pertains to Christians. Now here are your hosts, Mark Hyde and Chris Fuller.
What's going on, Mark?
Dude, what's up, Fuller? How you feeling this morning?
Great. Another day of podcasting.
Man, we were at a wedding reception last night,
So
doing the
much
Cupid
fun.
Shuffle and the Cha-Cha slide. And well, you didn't do the Cha-Cha slide. You
did.
left too soon.
My wife's too pregnant to even
How far along is she right now, dude?
38 weeks.
38 weeks. I mean, so what's the timeline? Does Janelle want it out like yesterday or what?
Yeah, like 5 days ago.
Like 5 days ago. Goodness gracious. Well, hey, how you feeling about today's podcast, buddy?
Feeling great. I'm pretty excited. We got some college students and some high school students here to discuss some real topics and real issues with us. It's great.
So we have three guests. Well, actually, we're not even in studio today.
No, we're not.
We are
we're
on
off-site.
site. We're off, well, not on site. Yeah, we're off site. So we are actually in the student ministry room at the church, which is some of theirs current home and then some of theirs, former homes. So we are off site, so the audio might sound a little different, but I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, I think it's
we'll
all right.
hang in there. So without wasting any time, we're going to turn it over to.
Hang on a second.
Oh wait,
what type
why do
of
I gotta
coffee
hang
are
on?
we drinking today?
Dude? So we have different kinds today.
Yeah.
We have, in the words of Eli Smith, some. Oh, you're not even drinking chocolate milk.
You're drinking
dude.
great value white 1%
Straight up
milk.
milk.
from
Yes,
Walmart.
sir.
It doesn't get any more.
No
like,
Nestle Quick,
Milkier
no
than that.
Hershey's, no nothing. You are going straight
You're such a PK.
1% milk.
PK
Either way,
milk?
no, but so the coffee we're
Is that what it
drinking is Guatemalan Antiquity Blend from Starbucks. And this ain't the crap you can buy at Kroger or Target. Like, you got to get this from the actual refineries
It's
inside
tasty.
Starbucks. See, this is why you make friends with Starbucks baristas, because they just give you free coffee all the time.
Right.
Like at the wedding last night, I was working my rounds around the wedding reception, hung out with the Starbucks baristas. They were interesting, but the more Starbucks barista friends you know, the more free coffee you
Right.
get. More free coffee you get. So we are drinking that today. But before we jump into the podcast, I want the people out there in podcast land, to actually know who we're talking about. So we're going to make the rounds. So go ahead and, friends, go ahead and introduce yourselves. Tell us what school you go to, what year you are. We need a fun question to ask them, Fuller.
Oh.
What's a fun question we can ask them?
What's their favorite Disney movie?
That was episode 2, bro.
Well,
I thought we weren't allowed to watch those.
I don't know. You must have not listened to
Someone
episode
did not
2.
listen to episode 2.
Like halfway
But
through,
we'll do favorite Disney movie. Favorite Disney movie sounds good. All right, so we'll start with the youngest and go to the oldest.
Come on, young guy.
Putting me on the spot here. So I am Eli Smith. Like Chris said, I am the pastor's kid here at Southside Baptist. And I go to Penn High School part-time and am homeschooled part-time. And I'm a senior this year, finally. It's been a long road.
It's been a long road.
I think
Old Town Road.
my favorite Disney movie, I was going to say maybe one of the Star Wars, but
Okay,
I could only do the new ones because technically the other ones weren't
the bad
made by
ones?
Disney.
Those were
They
Lucasfilm.
are owned now, but
let's go back
I'd-
into kids character animation movies.
Like we're talking Mulan,
Okay. All right.
Hercules,
like actual
Lion
Disney,
King.
not
Okay.
like Disney owned,
Disney.
but Disney.
okay. I'd say Emperor's New Groove.
Nice.
That's Mark's jam right
That
there.
is my jam, dude.
Jam.
Cusco. That's what's
Bro.
up.
Cusco.
That's right. All right, who's next?
I guess that's me, and also that's the answer you get when you bring a pastor's kid on here. But so I'm a Jagger Cripe. I go to IUSB. I'm in 14th grade, or in actual terms, I'm a sophomore, first semester sophomore.
You're a wise fool.
I am
That's
a
what
wise
you are.
fool.
You're a wise fool.
I'm a wise
Amen.
sage, but still a kid. But so my favorite I almost said Christian movie. My favorite Disney movie would definitely have to be Hercules. Dude, once I saw
Hercules.
that on, dude, I saw that on Netflix. Dude, because it's got like, it's got that gospel, but it's also got,
Hold on, should we do favorite Christian movie too?
No.
You're not
Courageous?
You're not allowed to have those.
The Snake Kings, Courageous, fantastic movie.
Prince of
Really
Egypt.
is.
Oh, that's another good
okay.
one.
Hey, but
see
yeah, Hercules, he just got that nice. It's just an awesome movie. I'm sorry, if you haven't seen Hercules, like the animated good one, not the one with like The Rock.
Would you say you're the physical embodiment of Hercules?
I would say I'm like the peak of the male body. Actually, I think my body is what all males strive to be.
You've got my body type.
I got, because there was a poll recently. Survey says dad bods are in, man. Like dad bods are in
right now.
And me and Fuller, we're in. Eli, Colby, all them.
Blow in with the strong gust of wind.
Goodness.
Right.
So Hercules, though.
Hercules.
That's the jam.
I've been told that.
All right, last but not least, who do we got?
I am Karli Watts. I am a senior at IUPUI. And
What does that stand for?
Indiana University, Purdue University of Indianapolis.
Karli, you're a senior?
Yeah.
Didn't you just graduate
Yeah.
a month ago
Yep,
with me?
it feels like
it. I'm getting old, bro.
I can't
Yeah.
say anything.
I'm getting old. I think you were my second class I graduated, Karli.
Really?
Here, I think you were second class I graduated, second or third, something like that.
Who was the
That's
first?
crazy.
Not
We
you.
had no seniors when I walked.
Oh
in.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. That's
We had
right.
no seniors. But anyway, keep going. So you're a senior IUPUI.
Yep.
What are you studying, Karli?
Right now, interior design, technology. Yeah, we'll see how that goes though. I don't really know.
You're a senior. You're stuck, Karli. You can't change.
I know. So yeah. And then my favorite Disney movie would have to be Cinderella.
Oh, that's my
That's
girl's
my
favorite
favorite.
movie.
Why Cinderella?
I never really got into watching all the other ones, I guess. I don't know, I've never seen The Lion King.
Whoa.
And that's the end of the podcast right
Yeah.
there.
Wait a minute.
I've
Roll
seen
credits.
parts of it, but I've never watched
gotta
it
edit
fully
this out.
through.
Oh my word.
We don't edit nothing.
We're gonna lose listeners
Lion
because of
King,
this.
Karli?
I've watched parts of it, but not all the way. So
What?
yeah. And Hercules, I've watched.
Cassie really is my favorite Watts.
Yeah.
Cassie really is my
Ruined
favorite.
that
Wow.
for myself.
Cassie's the baby Watts.
Yeah.
Hi, Cassie. You're probably not listening, but that's okay.
She's on the Insta chat and all that good stuff.
Yeah, the Insta chat.
They're like chat face or something.
Snap face. It's
Snap
snap.
face.
I think it's snap
Gotcha.
face.
All right.
What's
He's in
that?
14th grade. Don't mind him.
Listen,
Am I already out of the loop with
Yeah,
all
dude.
things social media and
Sorry.
technology? I don't even know what's happening
Welcome
right
to
now.
me.
I don't even
I've never
know.
even used Twitter, but I'm like, I'm going to set up a Twitter
I
account
hate
for the
Twitter.
podcast.
I don't. I get it. I understand it. I just think it's stupid.
Like, I'm still stuck in MySpace and Facebook.
Zanga, baby.
Like, when I heard of Snapchat, I'm like, what's that?
You snap who?
Instagram? How does that work? Like, I don't know.
Hey, but you do good on Facebook.
I do get on Facebook.
You get on
Not-
Facebook a
Not
lot.
very often.
You get on there quite a bit. You send me stupid stuff all the time.
Yeah.
So either way, let's go ahead and jump in. So today's conversation, we want to hear what it's like from you guys because we have a lot of people out there who have graduated high school a long time ago, Fuller longer than me. But we just want to kind of get a taste of what it's like to be in high school or college right now. Not specifically Christian in mind, but more so just what is it even like to be in these places. So Eli, you're our only high schooler for right now.
Yeah.
We'll have Colby joining us for the next one. But here's a question that I want to start off with you right now, Eli. This is going to be a fun one.
Okay.
You ready?
Okay.
What teacher do you hate the most? I'm just kidding because you're also homeschooled.
I-
But
you know.
no, that I don't want to know the
Yeah,
answer to
but-
that. I don't want to know the answer to
Okay.
that
You
one.
know.
No, but so what are things that people tend to talk about in the hallways? Like what are normal conversations? that teens
Besides
have?
that, just because it's the start of the year, I hear a freshman being like, where is this? I have no idea where I am. Because
Hey,
our
come
school,
on, that
our
was
school's
you.
like 500,000 square feet, so they don't know where to go.
But so a normal high schooler though, like I just want to get a feel of the land. What do people talk about, or is it mainly just? Is there really not that much they talk about? Are they just all losers?
Yeah, I mean, it just depends who you're around.
They know he's a pastor's kid, so they don't say nothing.
Yeah, actually, we'll get into that later. But I get talked to differently because I'm a pastor's
Wait,
kid.
do you really? Okay, so back this up.
Everybody knows that I'm a pastor's kid that I know because they're like, okay, so what? I mean, as long as you know somebody, you're gonna have conversations come up with them like, hey, what are you doing today? I'm like, I'm going to church for practice. Yeah, somehow it'll come up that I'm going to church, and then it'll come up multiple times. Why do you go to church so much? Well, my dad's a pastor, so I'm at the church all the time.
Is
I
that
love
the
it.
only reason why
I feel
you
like
come to church?
that's not what the reason should be,
Yeah.
Fuller.
I mean,
because you love
probably
Jesus.
not, but
asking.
that's why I'm there all the time.
That is true. Because if we ever need anything done, he'll be like, "Oh, I'll just ask Eli to do it."
Yeah. I'm the guinea pig.
No, you're
guinea
the
pig
gopher
here.
boy.
No,
You're the gopher
You're the
boy.
free worker.
You're the free worker.
You're
You're
welcome.
yeah.
Free labor.
Sounds.
Goodness gracious. All right, so I kind of want to hone in on that. So you being a pastor's kid, do they treat you differently?
I wouldn't say. Actually, yes. I'd say they treat me. I mean, as a regular person, but not like anybody. Like they treat one of their other friends that's obviously not a Christian. Like they.
Expound on that a little bit.
Yeah. Like when somebody says something, or like they're talking. I don't know. Somebody's talking about drugs. Let's just say, and they're like,
go
"Oh,
there.
but Eli wouldn't do that because he's a good little pastor's kid."
So obviously, then, okay, so they treat you a little differently because you're a Christian or a pastor's kid. Do you like that, or is that kind of something that gets under your skin a little bit?
No, I like it because I mean that's who I am. I'm a Christian. I'm not gonna deny that. Like, no, I'm not a pastor's kid. I'm not a Christian. What do you mean? I'll do drugs. No,
Sorry, Laura.
no, but yeah. I mean, that's just who I am. So I mean, it doesn't really bother me. I get to talk to him about it because that's just
So it
how I
opens
live my
doors and
life.
some conversations
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
comes from that.
yeah.
No, that's super
That's
cool.
good.
So here's another fun question then for you, Eli. So you go to Penn,
Mm-hmm.
which if people who are not from this area, Penn is our elite mega school.
3,700. Yeah.
What would you like to? Or I should put it this way. What would your school be better with, and what would your school be better without? That's kind of a fun question to think about.
Me and Jagger had this conversation. Freshman and senior. He was a senior. We need ice cream machines.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
So, out of all the things you want to change in your school, you're like, we need ice cream.
I'll say one more and then an actual answer here. But we used to have a car, like a mechanic shop, back in, I don't know when it was, but at
Wait,
Penn.
so not the woodworking shop.
No, the woodworking shop used to be the mechanic shop, and it was a smaller woodworking shop. So they had like everything in a mechanic shop. I mean, and they worked on cars, and they got to learn all that stuff, and that is something I would want to do, but we don't have that anymore. So, yeah.
So, needless to say, what Eli's trying to say is things that you can actually do with your life. I think, lack of a better word.
Pretty much.
Have you seen that?
We
where
have
it's
about
like,
everything
You would
else.
probably
though, so-
learn more from hanging out with our small group.
That's true. We
Than
can
probably
build
your
houses, we redo cars, we do all that kind of stuff. But so I guess for lack of a better word, this is kind of it is more hands-on things, because I know you're a builder. Like you build anything. Like you love wood.
You just built a house over the summer.
Yeah, you built an entire school year.
I'm
School
on my.
year.
You built
yeah,
an entire
school year.
house over the school year. So what you would like to see more at your school is more hands-on training for real life things. Like how do
Yeah.
you fix an engine?
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
your brakes went out. How do you replace brakes?
Right.
How do you? I mean, changing oil is like the most basic thing in the world,
Or a
but
tire.
changing shocks and struts and pistons and actually like having to handle that type of stuff and welding. I would love if you can learn how to take care of a muffler, because I could use some help with that on my car. But a lot more hands-on things,
Yeah, and
rather
I'm
than
in-
just mental things.
I'm in Penn Building Trades at Penn High School, is where, like Chris said, where we build a house, and we're on like our second week right now. We've got some walls in the basement, but
You're building your next house.
yes,
So
I'm
this is
on my
house
next
number
house.
2.
You're on house
Yeah.
number 2.
Yeah, house number
Dang.
2. But one of the things we talk about at the job site, we learned from our teacher, Mr. Crooks. He says so many times, you're not going to go back when you're a grandpa. You're not going to go back and take out your English paper and say, "Here, look, grandson, look what I got on this paper." No, you're gonna drive back to your house that you actually built in high school though, and say, "Hey, I built that house when I was a junior and a senior. Here's the other one too." And
Like that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like that's something I wish
really-
schools did more of.
So what you do is on the OSB on the roofs. Do you guys do the roofs too?
Yeah.
So you take like a Sharpie or spray paint and you write your name
Sign your name.
and then the year, and that way when they rip the roof off to replace it, your name's still there.
And then when you become rich and famous, you can say, "I signed the house."
Then somebody's gonna go and cut that out and sell it on eBay.
No, that's cool. So I guess for lack of a better word, you would like to see more hands-on things,
Yeah,
like
'cause I
real
mean-
life things, like
Yeah, he's always preparing us for the job site and for how you're going to actually be in work in a few years, and how you can't be late to things. You got to be dependable. You've got to have all your tools. You got to be dependable, basically.
I like that.
So I don't think that's applied a lot in all the classrooms. So if we could see more of that, that would be awesome.
No, I like that actually. What do you think about that, Fuller?
I like it. I do.
I mean, you're a union guy. I mean, you work with your hands for a living.
Yeah.
Like
well,
you're a
kind
steel
of.
worker. I type on a computer for a living, but
Yeah, that's why you got baby soft hands.
I got baby soft hands. No, the small group calls me baby hands.
Baby hands.
Baby hands. They call me baby hands. Goodness.
Graphic
Well, hey,
memory.
we'll come back to you in a bit, Eli, because I still got a lot more questions. So,
Jagger's over here like, come on.
chomping at the bit, the college kids
I
over
got
here.
caffeine in
So,
my system.
so we'll start with Jagger with this one, and then I want to hear your answer too, Karli, on this one. So, back in high school, you were probably asked, what did you want to be in 5 years? Like, what was your 5-year plan? What was your 10-year plan? What was your 15-year plan? But since college, has your answer changed?
Well, since that answer was, I have no idea.
It hasn't changed. has it?
Still, I
has-
have no idea.
It has changed a lot, though. Obviously, since then, I've been in a committed relationship. Hi, Gab.
Hi, Gab.
If you listen to this,
Hi, Gab.
which you're probably not. But
Listen to it.
It's like from the time 5 years ago, I was a sophomore sophomore to sophomore, and it's like a lot changes in those 5 years, because it's like you mature a lot. Not saying everyone does or that much, but you mature. Your mindset changes. People you connect with. You just go back to a picture of me last year or 2 years ago. Big change. Your hairstyle changed. If you knew me in junior year of high school, I'm sorry that you had to look at my hair every single day. But
I remember that.
The
era.
Lego hair.
The Lego hair.
I never really thought about marriage a lot, and now it's like, I'm with a girl that I think I want to marry. I want to be an accountant now. Even last year, I didn't even know what I wanted to do, and now, I'm taking accounting classes. I'm like just enveloped in business classes. I'm taking business law right now, and now it's like, I think it's crazy how in high school people, starting sophomore year, you get all those college letters and stuff, saying, "Oh, come here." It's like, sophomore year, it's like you don't even know what you want to do with your life, let alone what college, or even if you want to go to college. And I didn't even, until senior year, I kind of did a Hannah Smith. I didn't even know I wanted to go to college. I didn't enroll in college until June.
Shout out to my sister Hannah. Also,
Of last
pastor's
summer,
kid.
yeah.
Right, Eli's sister.
Like, I didn't even know what I wanted to do. I didn't know if I wanted to go to college. And so 5 years, we're going to talk about later on, what advice would you give to younger, but it's like 5 years is a lot of time for people to grow, develop, and change. And being able to look back and see, I went from, I have no idea if I want to go to college, what I want to do with my life, to, being with someone I really love and can see spending the rest of my life with. I know a lot of like college Christians say that and like, oh yeah, let's get married next week.
Ring by spring.
Right?
Tissues, I'm gonna cry.
But it's I've been, but now it's like I can definitely say I have a feasible plan. Coming out of college, I can actually get a job and do something with my life instead of working at McDonald's or Subway because I got gender studies. Sorry, but that's just the truth.
So a lot of things have solidified, I guess,
Yeah.
for lack of better
a lot
words.
of things have.
So rather than just going through high school, going to classes, having a job. I mean, you've had a job for forever.
I started working. I started actually
15,
working
14?
at Stanley Clark sophomore summer, and I hated it at first because I'm like, work? What is this? I got
What's
a pen.
work?
I don't know what this is.
I go to.
I got a pen. I don't know what this is, but but like you said, a lot of things have definitely solidified now, and I feel like my life, God's put a lot of things in my life where I can be like, all right, God, I see where you're opening doors. God, I see where you're closing doors. And, who thought I'd have a college class? It's only a couple students, but at the same time, it's like, I told them last week, if you told me I was doing this a year ago, I'd think you're crazy because it's like, I didn't feel ready for this, but now it's like, my life is, I have actual steps I can take now to.
So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years from now?
From now.
That way we can listen to this 5 years later.
And then look back and be like, well, see, this is where you failed.
I didn't
You were
say it.
nowhere close
There's
to
a
where you
segment I like
shot.
called what Colin got right, what Colin got wrong. And it's like where Jagger was right, where Jagger was wrong. But yeah, so in 5 years, I'm hoping, I can be, hopefully I'll be married. That's because, I'm gonna be honest. I was very lonely as a high schooler. I didn't have a lot of friends. You know, I sat with Eli at lunch, but other than that, it's like I didn't have a lot. But you know, I'm hoping in 5 years I can be married, have a good job, a good paying job, and you know, just still be committed to the church, and you know, still be able to help out and be a strong, solidified Christian in this really weird world.
So Fuller, is that answer acceptable to you?
I have some follow-up questions. I just don't know if I want to record the follow-up question.
All right, you want to?
Well, hey, let's move on to Karli, and let's move on to Karli right now. This. So Karli, same question for you. So, where you wanted to be in 5 years when you were in high school, or compared to where you are right now, is it kind of still the same game plan? Have things changed? I mean, give us a scoop.
And
I do have to say, I barely see you now since you graduated high school, so I'm very excited for this answer.
Yeah. So mine's kind of opposite of Jagger's, where he said in high school he like had no idea and he was just kind of like going through the days. And then he like found this girl that he thinks he's going to marry and like all this stuff. So when I was in high school, I thought that I was going to marry young, which I still am young, but
Still young.
thought I was going to marry young,
Karli, you're old now.
have a child young, like all this stuff, have a successful job. Yeah, here I am, a senior in college, not knowing what I want to do now. So I definitely think it's changed just because I thought I would be like on the right track, whereas I'm like 3 years behind now. So
3 years behind on where you wanted to be.
Well, like in college, yeah. So, I mean, because I went to Bethel my freshman year, transferred, lost all my credits.
Oh, you didn't tell me that. You lost all your credits
I
when
lost
you transferred?
everything but speech.
From IU?
From Bethel.
From Bethel to IUPUI.
Because it was like Christian to public, and I guess that's like really hard to do. I don't know. I didn't know math changed, but...
Well,
you know?
Okay, Common Core math drive me nuts.
It does change.
Common
From
Core
going
math.
1 disciple plus 1 disciple equals 2 disciples to it's just 1 plus 1 equals 2. Public to Christian.
Well,
I'm like, I don't know where you're going with that, but okay.
Math theory now. Or theoretical math. Yeah. It's like 4 plus 4 equals 9.
Yeah.
At Bethel, you're learning how Jesus walked on water. But,
Physics.
How he
Jesus
took
physics.
physics is
five
just-
loaves and 2 fish and fed 5,000. That's the math that's important.
That's the math. That's important. So now, do you regret your decision at all to go to IUPUI?
I wouldn't say regret. I feel like if I would have stayed at Bethel, I would have been a lot further than I am now. And I feel like I would have had I would have been on the right track at least.
Further, like, as in, like, credit-wise further?
Yeah,
Okay.
and, like, school, and, like, I just feel like at IUPUI, I just kind of, like, along the way of interior design, I just kind of, like, lost the interest in it, I guess. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's more of a hobby now than it is a career. So now I'm kind of just, like, in the middle of, like, what do I do? Like, you know, what, do I change my major? I don't know. So
You look so stressed right now.
I'm really
you
stressed.
Look so stressed.
Yeah.
So what is the game plan?
Right now I'm one class away from getting my associates in interior design. So I'm going to finish with that class and then get my associates. And then even before I went to Bethel, like in high school and stuff, I wanted to work with the elderly. I love doing that. Mm-hmm. And
I'm going to give you a massive pat on the back, because I don't even think Fuller knows this. But when you were at LaVille, you did a lot of stuff with special needs as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
You served there like crazy.
Yeah, I was very involved in that. So, yeah, I want to do something with the elderly, still do. So I think I'm just going to finish with the interior design and then hopefully get my CNA so I can work in a nursing home or something with the elderly. So
I would encourage you not to stress. Because I went to 3 different universities, had 3 different majors, and still haven't used any of them.
Okay, that makes me feel a little bit better.
I started off.
I'm the opposite.
I started off at Southwestern Michigan College for music. major.
Union.
Wait, for music?
For music. And then I went to Pensacola Christian College for graphic design. Ooh. And then I went to Andrews University in Berrien Springs for aeronautical engineering and mechanics, which I did that for a couple of years, and I was like, I don't like this. And now I'm working in a steel mill as a union worker.
No, that's not your job. Your job is you're a podcast host.
I'm a podcast host now.
Yes.
You're a podcast host.
Your passions change. I would say that the passion, working with special needs or the elderly, that's a good passion. I would pursue that. Maybe go back and work with it, see if that's still your passion before you make that career change as far as college goes.
Right.
So yeah, that's just kind of how I feel about it.
No, I like that. So I want to ask you a follow-up question then, Karli.
Yes.
So you were at a Christian college.
Yes.
And then transferred to a secular college.
Yes.
IUPUI is, IU, Purdue, but isn't like the logo like more IU than Purdue or something like that?
Certain majors, like interior design, I believe, is a Purdue University degree.
Okay.
So like it depends on I guess it depends on your degree. So like if you are, I don't know, say a nursing degree, I think it's a IU degree. I could be wrong on that, but like it just depends on that. So,
Gotcha. But
yeah.
so what was it like going from and you lived at the dorms in Bethel,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
So what was it like going from a Christian college to a secular college for you?
It was hard, I would say, just because coming from Bethel, it was easy, I would say, to make friends, just because, like, especially in the dorm, you're always around people. I had a roommate that was really outgoing and like was ready to go meet people.
And you're always ready to go meet people, right, Karli?
Yep, always. So it was a lot, but I had fun there, and I made really good friendships. And I mean, I don't really talk to the people there anymore today, but I will randomly just text them and see how they're doing, and so it's fun. But yeah, so it was very different because then I went to IUPUI and got an apartment right off of campus and knew my one roommate. I had two other roommates that I had no idea who they were. So that was a little scary, but yeah, I mean, it was very easy at Bethel, and then going to IUPUI, I would say it was a lot harder. So
Now, was it harder for your faith as well?
I would say so. But then especially towards the beginning, I wasn't really like going to church as much, just because like I didn't know where to go. And I didn't know, like I didn't want to go by myself, whatever. So I wasn't going to church as much, and then I would be coming home a lot. And then I actually got involved in a Bible study with some of my friends my first year there, or the first semester, I guess. And then that kind of like got me going to church a little bit more, just because those friends had been there in Indy for a little bit longer. So they had a church already, so I started going with them. And then this last year, I got into a Bible study with the same girls. It was just a smaller group. So it's easy, I guess, with like when you get put into those things, but it's a lot harder when you have no idea. Like I knew like maybe 3 people that went to IUPUI. So.
Goodness. And whereas Bethel, you have to go to chapel every so
Yep.
often. I mean, you're at home. I mean, you can go to your
Yeah.
home church any weekend that you wanted.
Yeah.
Do you feel like your faith has been stretched in terms of having to have conversations with, and I'm going to ask you this question too, Jagger.
Okay.
So do you feel like your faith has been stretched in terms of now all of a sudden you find yourself in a not Christian environment, but you call yourself a Christian? Do you find yourself stretched in terms of having to stand up for your faith more, having to have more conversations, having to answer why are you a Christian? Because Bethel, you would never get the question, why are you a Christian?
Yeah.
It's the opposite. So I just want to ask you that question.
Yeah, I definitely think so. It was really hard for me at first, just because like when I went into classes and stuff, I almost had like the thought of like, I don't want to put myself out there because I don't want to be judged. And like, I don't want people to think like this of me, or like she's so weird because of this or whatever. And so it was really hard at first, but then I kind of got over that because I was just kind of in the mindset of like, who cares what people think of me? And so, I mean, it's college. So I got in that mindset, and then I actually met it was almost like God was like throwing her at me, because I literally walked into my first class and I had a key fob to get into my apartment building. And the girl that I was sitting right next to asked me if I lived at the Avenue, which is where I lived. And I was like, yeah, how'd you know? And she's like, your fob. She's like, I live there too. And I was like, really? So then like after class, we were like talking a little bit more. And then like throughout the weeks or whatever, started getting really close. And we never really had the conversation about like God or like where we stood with our faith or anything. And then one night she was sitting in my room, and it just got super deep. And it was like really weird, because I was like, I wasn't expecting it, but like I found out she's a Christian, I'm a Christian, we believe in the same thing, like all this stuff. So it was like really cool to see that. But
And then is that the girl that you used to do Bible study with then?
No, she actually is a different one, but it was just cool because like it was my first friend at IUPUI. It was like out of nowhere, did not expect to have a Christian friend the very first day of class. So it was just, it changed a lot, but it definitely made me stretch my faith.
That's good.
So,
Those are the best. Like,
those are the best.
When you don't expect it to. And
Yeah.
Then it's like, because when you try to force it, it's like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That very natural coming
Organic
to.
even?
I mean, it.
Organic.
Well, it
Try not
reminds
to
me of
mess
that
that up.
passage. We go back to it all the time. I think it's the one in Ecclesiastes where it's talking about like a cord of one is easily broken, but a cord of two is not
Right.
easily severed.
Right.
And it's this is something that I always challenge my seniors, and Eli knows this because he was at the junior senior dinner. But the first thing I always tell kids who are graduating is go find your tribe.
Right.
Go find your tribe because you need people to help make you strong in your faith with that.
Yep.
So I'm glad you found your people, Carlos.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right,
Feels
Cripe,
good.
what you got?
Can you repeat the question for me?
This ain't
That
the
was
spelling bee, bro.
That's something we hear in SM a lot.
Actually,
too.
so
Hippopotamus.
No,
the
no,
word
no,
is
no.
hippopotamus.
What Eli's trying to say in though, Fuller, is I know what Eli's going for. Okay, so I tend to ask a question and then I talk for a while and then I say answer the question. They're like, we forgot the question.
What
Yeah.
question now?
all the time.
You asked like six questions in
You
there.
I
asked
asked
what
what
questions?
question?
What questions?
6 questions. We'll edit that out later.
Oh,
we're
no,
not,
we
we're
won't.
not talking about sixth graders.
Questions.
Sixth
Oh,
graders.
yeah.
Yeah, I mess up my words a lot. No.
It's carrying over to me.
So, I mean, you went from, so Jagger, you were at Penn, which obviously Penn was a public high school, and now you're at IUSB, which is IU South Bend. So Karli is at the IU Purdue in Indianapolis. Jagger's at the one here in South Bend. So, Jagger, for you living your faith as a Christian, have you found that challenging or hard or confusing or what?
So yeah, at times it has been because oddly we live in like one of the only blue areas in like the entire county.
What do you mean
What's
by
blue
blue?
area?
Like-
Sad,
like-
depressed?
Democratic.
Oh.
Liberals?
He said the
No.
D word.
No, but
Whoa, buddy.
no, but you know, we live in a very
but-
blue county. That's what people say. You know,
Right.
we live in a
And for people who don't know, I mean, Mayor Pete is our mayor.
Mayor
Yeah.
Pete, presidential
Candidate.
Mayor Pete Buttigieg.
Well,
Buttigieg.
let me go on the record. This can either be the hottest take or the coldest take. He ain't gonna be president, but but so
I still vote for
So-
coffee.
so we live in a town where we have a homosexual mayor, and am I allowed to say that or?
Go for it, man.
Well,
And so-
he calls it. He's
be
the
organic,
first
man.
openly gay
He's,
mayor.
be organic, and he's an active homosexual. We live in a very democratic area, and not to say that Christians have a political side, but in this area they tend not to match up with Christian or Baptist beliefs.
Yeah, I would say Christians have biblical standards. I wouldn't call them conservatives, Republicans,
Yeah,
or anything
it's-
like that. It's
No, biblical.
biblical.
And IUSB is a very liberal university.
It's very liberal. So I'd say while it wasn't stressed, there was times where it's just like it's weird being it felt odd to be, and as it should be. It felt weird to be a Christian at IUSB. Weird in the sense of I didn't fit in, but then I had to reassure myself later in the semester I'm not supposed to fit in here.
Right.
Like you guys talked about, we're ambassadors for Christ. The ambassador from Turkey is not going to speak very clean English and stuff. It's like we're not supposed to be. Sorry, we're not supposed to be like this world. And it took me a while, even though I grew up in a Christian home. We talked about in Sunday school a couple weeks ago. It's just because you grow up in a Christian home, the rich young ruler, he grew up following all the laws that Jesus put out there, but that doesn't mean, you're saved. And so, I forgot where I was going with this, but, it just, I didn't fit in at first, and...
Right. So you as a Christian on a secular campus, it felt like you were a misfit. You were not an outcast, but you were just a misfit.
It was a misfit. All my teachers were like, I wrote this down, but they basically tossed Christianity into the religion bin of like, you're not special, or they didn't even toss it in with like Islam and Jewish faith. It's like Christianity was just singled out all the way.
Yeah, it usually is.
It's they made sure like there was and I'm not here to offend anyone, but so there was I'm talking about a real experience that happened in my one of my classes. the teacher was like, oh, hey, so he was talking to one of the girls, and he goes, so you're of the Muslim faith, you want to explain that to the class for those who don't know it, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a Christian, I go to church. And he goes, oh, okay, well, that's just, we want to make sure that we have religious equality here. He said that. He goes, yeah, we just want to make sure we have religious equality. And that's when it started to become real for me that I'm not supposed to fit in here.
Like they want you to shut up.
They want me to shut up. And I'm taking an anthropology class right now, and it's all about racial, religious diversity. But it doesn't seem like Christians are supposed to be part of that equality. And so it's just all about, just knowing, just letting God show me where I'm supposed to be in this very anti-Christian college. And while there are Christian groups and stuff, for the most part, people, I think, like you said, people just don't care. Like, they really don't care if you're Christian or not. They could care less, even. And whenever I talk to people about my faith, it's like, oh, well, that's cool. And it's like they don't care, man.
Right.
And I talked to someone. We wanted to start up something on the IU campus about a little young adult ministry on Friday mornings, and they go, oh, what faith are you? I'm like, oh, I'm Christian. And they go, oh, I didn't know they did that kind of thing here. And I'm like, it was like Black Panther. We don't do that here. It's like, it's so.
So you're basically describing what John 15:18 through 25 talks about, where Jesus says, if the world hates you, keep in mind that they hated me first. That whole passage right there. Is that basically what you're saying, that you're feeling like because you're a Christian faith and they're singling out the Christian faith, it's almost like they're hating you, and Jesus says they're gonna hate you because they hated me first and they killed me.
I definitely, I'd agree with that. But at the same time, it's like I see these people here and I don't feel resentment towards them. I say this all the time in Sunday school. It's the message of the cross is foolishness to those who don't believe.
Right.
And when you read, we joked around with Jesus physics and turning loaves of bread
physics
to feeding the 5,000.
That's gonna be a new class.
It does sound crazy, some of the stories
SM
you
next
read.
year.
You're welcome, Bethel.
You're welcome, Bethel. But it's like some of these stories would sound crazy to people, and it's just, for me, my faith hasn't been stretched, but it's been tested at times. But I've really been able to find comfort in, fellow Christians, not even at the campus, but just, at church. I got you guys, hopefully.
You got us.
I got Eli.
Yes, sir.
I have my family's always behind me 100%.
Don't forget Karli. You got Karli.
Yeah,
too.
I got Karli.
Karli down in Indy.
I got IUP, IU gang. But it's like I don't need popularity to get by.
Right.
It's just been a testing experience, but one I can look back and be like, I didn't let this squash my faith. I didn't let my teachers or fellow students who think that my beliefs are stupid squash my faith.
And following through with that, you've never let anyone stop you from having those gospel conversations. Like, what are some things you've done on campus to like to get the gospel news out?
So on campus, actually, there was a couple girls in one of my classes who were like, we're like, oh, hey, it'd be cool to start like a minute. Obviously, it never took off, but there was a ministry. They're talking about starting a ministry thing there, and we start to have a couple conversations, and we just kind of challenge each other to just spread the gospel, talk to one person a day or even a week. It's not a contest to see who can spread the gospel more, but it's just constantly challenging each other to preach the gospel. And I challenge Gab because we both have a lot of friends who don't know Jesus at all. One thing I've also learned is even people who say they're Christians don't really live it out or even believe it. But I just it's been an experience and a half.
It's been an experience, and
it's hard to share the gospel at IU. It really is, because it's everyone's so focused on where they need to be. Like, everyone's focused on their own thing. Like I said, people don't care. They're focused on passing for starters.
More focused on the school than
than
where their souls are
religion or whatever, you know.
And we'll get back to that. And I know, Eli, you've been sitting there for like 20 minutes. You're like, I want to talk again. I just want to talk. But we probably should put a pause on, or not a pause. We probably should put an end to this episode.
Yeah.
And come back. So the next episode we're going to come back out with next week, we are going to have the teenagers and the college kids right back with us again, asking more questions, such as. I'm excited to ask Eli this question, and this is the question, Eli, so get ready for it. So studies show that teens today are more stressed than ever before. Why do you think teens are so stressed, and what would you tell parents out there about the stress that they cause their high school students?
Don't answer it now.
And also, what do you wish adults knew about teenagers? And we'll ask you guys similar questions, college kids, about other things like that. About what's the what have your classes taught you about stop being a Christian, stop shoving Christianity down people's throat, conversations you guys have had and all those various different things. So we'll be coming back next week with that episode. But before we end the podcast, it's time for Fun Facts with Fuller.
Fun Facts
with Fuller.
All right, so today's fun fact is about vending machines.
Vending machine,
like you get chips and stuff out of vending.
I don't get chips out of vending machines. I go to the coffee vending machines.
Same thing. So here's the fun fact: you're twice as likely to be killed by a vending machine than a shark, according to the New England Aquarium. I'm sorry, that was supposed to be one sentence. Man, I screwed that one up.
Restart.
We'll edit that out.
No.
So when is Discovery Channel premiering their vending machine week?
Because we got Shark Week.
You got Shark Week.
We need vending machine week.
I think that's this fall. Actually, I'm pretty excited. You know,
that's awesome. But speaking of weeks, we will see you guys all next week. See you guys later.
Thank you for listening to Real Talk Christian. To help get our podcast into the ears of other people who need to hear these conversations, we would love for you to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts. To keep the conversations going, feel free to follow us on Instagram and Facebook and share our content with others. See you next time.
That had their prom at the Oaks.
At their prom at the Oaks. Hey, that's where your homeschool prom was at. So
I didn't go to homeschool prom, please.
Hey, who'd you take? Your mom?
I'm beneath that.
Oh no, his baby sister. He took his sister. That was mean, Fuller. That was so mean.